The Republic of Khakassia is a Russian federal subject located in the Siberian Federal District. The administrative center is Abakan. The titular nation of Khakassia is the Khakas. Khakassia is a republic of southern Siberia where steppe, forest, mountains, and deep historical layers converge to form a region with a strong sense of ancient continuity. It lies in the Minusинsk basin along the upper Yenisei River, bordered by the Kuznetsk-Alachau Mountains to the north and west, and the Western Sayan Range to the south. This basin gives Khakassia a landscape very different from much of Siberia: wide grasslands, fertile valleys, forest steppe zones, and comparatively mild conditions that have supported human settlement for thousands of years. The geography made the region a natural corridor and gathering place for peoples moving between the Eurasian steppe and the taiga. The indigenous people of the republic are the Khakas, a Turkic-speaking people closely related to other southern Siberian groups such as the Altaians and Tivans. Khakas identity formed from a long process of interaction between Turkic nomads, Yeniseian peoples, and earlier steppe cultures. Historically, Khakas society combined pastoral herding with hunting, fishing, and agriculture, particularly grain cultivation in the river valleys. Horses and livestock played an important role, but unlike purely nomadic steppe societies, many Khakas communities practiced semi-settled lifestyles shaped by the fertile basin environment. Khakassia is one of the most archaeologically rich regions in Siberia. The land is dotted with burial mounds, stone stelae, petroglyphs, and ancient fortifications left by cultures such as the Tagar and Tashtik civilizations, as well as later Turkic Khaganates. These monuments testify to the region's importance as a political and cultural center long before the arrival of Russians. The Yenisei Kyrgyz, a powerful medieval Turkic people, are often considered a key ancestral component of the modern Khakas, and their legacy remains central to Khakas historical consciousness. Russian expansion reached Khakassia in the 17th century, driven by the fur trade and the strategic importance of the Yenisei River. Forts and settlements were established, and the region was gradually incorporated into the Russian state. As elsewhere in Siberia, this process involved tribute collection, administrative control, and missionary activity. Orthodox Christianity spread, but it did not fully displace indigenous beliefs. Shamanism, centered on spirits of nature, ancestors, and sacred places, continued to shape Khakas' spiritual life, often coexisting with outward Christian affiliation. During the imperial period, Khakassia remained largely rural, though Russian settlement increased steadily. The Soviet era brought radical transformation. The creation of the Khakas Autonomous Oblast formalized ethnic recognition later within Krasnoyarsk Krai before Khakassia gained republican status after the collapse of the USSR. Collectivization disrupted traditional livelihoods and religious practices were suppressed. At the same time, Soviet policies promoted literacy, education, and the development of Khakas language culture, including literature, theater, and scholarship. Industrialization reshaped the region's economy and demography. Khakassia became important for coal mining, metallurgy, and energy production, particularly through hydroelectric power projects on the Yenisei. Cities such as Abakan developed as administrative and industrial centers, attracting Russian-speaking workers from other parts of the Soviet Union. As a result, the Khakas became a minority within their own republic, a demographic pattern shared with many indigenous regions of Siberia. In the post-Soviet period, Khakassia has faced economic and social challenges tied to its industrial base. Coal mining and heavy industry remain central to the economy, providing employment but also creating environmental pressures, including air pollution and landscape degradation. Rural areas struggle with depopulation and limited opportunities, while urban centers concentrate economic and cultural life. Despite these difficulties, the Republic has maintained relative political stability compared to some other regions. Culturally, Khakas identity has experienced a revival since the 1990s. The Khakas language has official status alongside Russian, and efforts have been made to promote it through education, media, and cultural institutions, though Russian remains dominant in daily public life. Traditional music, throat singing, epic storytelling, and ritual practices continue to serve as powerful symbols of identity. Sacred sites, mountains, and ancient monuments remain central to cultural memory, linking present-day Khakas to the deep past embedded in the landscape. Religiously, shamanism has re-emerged more openly after decades of suppression, often alongside Buddhism and Christianity. For many Khakas, spiritual identity is less about exclusive belief systems and more about maintaining respectful relationships with land, ancestors, and natural forces. This worldview reflects the long continuity of human presence in the Minusinsk Basin. Khakassia's character is shaped by its role as both a crossroads and a refuge. Its open valleys invited migration and empire, while its mountains and cultural resilience allowed local identity to endure. Today, the Republic stands as one of Siberia's key centers of ancient heritage, where archaeological depth, Turkic traditions, and modern industrial life coexist within a landscape that has witnessed human history for millennia. Like, comment, and share to support this channel. Subscribe for more hidden corners of the world.